We are back here on the Just and the Suffering podcast, continuing our coverage of Stranger Things Season 4, the back half of Volume 1, Episodes 5 to 7. Joining me today, our pop culture correspondent who was here last week to help me recap Episodes 1 to 4. Sam Derosa is back here. Sam, how are you?
Super excited. Thanks for having me back.
I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you also did not get possessed by Vecna in between podcasts.
You know, I've been just blasting my Spotify premium all the time.
So what is the go-to song if Vecna tries to possess you?
You know what? That's so funny. I was thinking about that today. I don't know. It's been a week by week basis. I maybe would be possessed by Vecna. I don't have a favorite song. I just listen to the same song over and over until I get bored of it. So if he just waited out long enough, he could totally get me.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Not really, but it's fine.
Yeah, for me, the go-to would be Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. That would be the go-to for me.
That's a solid one.
Yeah. I mean, it came on at a wedding I was at this weekend. I was the first guy on the dance floor.
Well, I mean, that's a great one. And it's 80s, right?
Yep. Right around that time period.
But like, I guess Separate Ways has been stuck in my head ever since we started this show. So far, so good.
Yeah. I mean, Kate Bush is having a renaissance because of the show, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we are back now. We are watched the entirety of Volume 1, Episodes 5 to 7 now complete. We watched 1 to 4 last week. And I got to say, they did a good job here, leaving you wanting more. I mean, we've been watching the internet. The conversation's kind of slowed down a bit because obviously we're 2 weeks out from the drop of the season. But I feel like there's still a lot of plot points that people buzzing with theories right now.
Definitely. Also, we can just make that like talk go right back up, right?
Yeah. We'll make it trending again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Any general thoughts on what we watched in the last 3 episodes of The Batch?
The last 3 episodes were long, don't get me wrong, but I oddly felt like they were paced really well, and they focused mostly on the things that meant the most, at least to me.
Yeah. I did like the pace. I did feel like nobody really got like the short end of the stick. I mean, there were some stuff here like the California crew not really being involved in the last episode was like a little bit of a disappointment, but considering how long you're going back and forth between Hopper and Hawkins in there, like I can understand like they let them drive this episode. They'll show up in part 8.
Yeah, and then also like the top, going back, we had a lot of California plot, if you think about it, in the beginning of the couple, like the front end of the season. So maybe it was like exacerbated enough to like kind of like trickle out.
Yeah, and I was missing my Argyle episode 7.
I was too, but not to like go too far back in the past. First off, just want to say, me and good old Will, we have the same birthday.
And the writers forgot it.
I think that whole plot point with him with the video, that was a big thing. Everybody forgot his birthday.
Yeah, the Duffers themselves said they forgot his birthday when they're writing the season. So
well, March 22nd is a great day. So everybody send me gifts next year in 2023. But that was just a very interesting little piece there. You know, just being able to go on TikTok and, you know, Reddit and everything and just like listen to all these theories. It's crazy.
It really is. I think a lot of the series really started with the 11 storyline where we left her in the first batch. She wasn't even in the 4th episode because Dr. always picks her up to go make her a superhero again. And she tells it to Mike. And then we find out, like, shocker of all shockers, Dr. Brenner is not dead. He's still alive. So, I mean, it's kind of the worst choreographed secret in the show. But, like, were you surprised at all to see Matthew Modine back and not in flashbacks?
No, I wasn't. I felt like he was going to pop up at some point. But, you know, as much as I hate him, and especially when we're doing, like, the, you know, past scenes, I, like, feel like we have him to thank.
Yeah.
For unleashing the beast again, basically, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Brenner, I think if you listen to like sort of his like viewpoints on this, I think Matthew Modine said this as well. It's like Brenner thinks he's doing the right thing, that he's trying to like save the world by creating like a bunch of superpowered kids, maybe sort of like Umbrella Academy, where he's taking like a bunch of kids and trying to make them into a elite superhero team. And then like seeing how that all goes down, that was a fun plot device to see 11. You go through the flashbacks to unlock repressed memories, get her powers back, and sort of seeing a lot of fun stuff, especially about I next put together, we get the Vecna origin story in this plot.
Yeah, which I didn't see that coming at all. Like that was awesome.
Yeah. And we find out it's the orderly Peter in the flashbacks who is like trying to help 11. We find out that he is the son of Victor Creel. We forgot to mention the last time was played by the son of I forget, son Victor Creel's son. He's played by Robert Englund, the original Freddy Krueger. That was a fun casting choice.
You know what's so funny? So I was like watching it and I was like, this guy seems familiar. Now, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street one time, scared. I do not do well with scary. Like this season's been really big for me, being scared. And I'm like, I feel like I know this guy. And I think that it's like a nice homage or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
to the show.
Great callback to that movie. And you see that Victor Creel find out like he originally gets blamed for murdering his family. Find out that it's his son who has these powers and kills his mom and his sister. And then he gets committed to Brenner's care. Brenner basically tries to create an army of super kids that like following his lead. He's number one. And then found basically that he's put in some sort of like immunosuppressing chip in his body. He cons 11 to pulling it out and he goes on a rampage and murders all the kids there. That was like legit terrifying.
Yeah, because I mean, of course, it's the narrative they want. Makes him think that 11's the bad guy, but in reality, 11 is a superhero. It just further proves that she is good because she uses the one good memory she has of love to destroy Vecna.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like she does basically open the portal to the Upside Down, sends him in, and she creates Vecna basically. So this is all her right now.
Yeah, and she seals it shut again. So she has the ability to shut portals as well, as we have seen. But like that was another big thing. She sent him in and sealed it shut when she was just a little kid.
Yeah.
Did you see all of the people watching again and finding out that they've used the clock dinging throughout the past 4 seasons?
I did not see that. Is that a TikTok thing?
Yeah. I am deep in the Stranger Things algorithm. They use that. Apparently the shadow figure that Will sees in episode 1 looks like Vecna with the weird creepy hand.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You should get on TikTok just for Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'll keep in mind here. I do think it's fun watching all of this stuff like happening here, especially like with the threaded storylines of Vecna. And you see like, especially all of his budget they had, a lot of it I think went to Vecna.
100%. I feel like especially for like episode 7.
Yeah.
That 30 million, I'm just like, damn, like they probably used every penny.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw this. Did you know that the actor Jane Campbell Bower is actually in the Vecna suit? He's not CGI.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that is a very detailed costume he's in.
That seems like a lot of hours in the makeup chair.
Yeah, it's like at least half your days in the makeup chair. You're getting in that.
Oh my god, that's crazy! I didn't know that.
It's definitely a lot of fun, and I do think Vecna is a fantastic villain for this season, just because like the psychological horror he has, and I mean, like we see again, he kills like I predicted last time the poor basketball player was doomed.
Yeah, poor guy. And then the fact that he just targets people with guilt,
yes.
That is so messed up.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
It's really disturbing. He's like, he is supposed to be like Freddy Krueger, gets you in your dreams. But dang, he is ruthless. He
is absolutely ruthless. And we'll talk about the Hopper storyline too a little bit, which again, this still underwhelmed me with these 3 episodes. We got very little movement with it because I mean, we spent like 1 episode of them on the plane to Russia and Hopper in prison. And we spent an episode with them walking to the prison and Hopper getting ready to face the Demogorgon. And then they reunite at the end of episode 7. That's really the storyline. To me, I feel like this felt like such small potatoes. Remember what was going on in the other 2 plots?
Yeah, I mean, like, we got Murray with his Murrayness and joy. Like, I just think of that storyline as Jif peanut butter or whatever.
Yep.
And also just the Demogorgon, and then also just the nice hug at the end. And that was probably the best part of the entire, 7 episodes that they spent on this with the Hopper storyline.
Yeah. I think the best part was Murray's karate skills and him pretending to be Yuri. That was the best part of that whole.
Oh my God. That was hilarious. Murray's karate.
Yeah. I did like that Murray, had to pretend to be Yuri to fool the prison guards. And the prison guard says, it was like, I was told Yuri had 1 screw loose and you have multiple screws loose, and then just start laughing maniacally.
Yeah, that was funny. The guy, the actor who plays Murray does an amazing job.
Yeah, I think it's Brett Gelman plays him.
Yeah, his TikTok has been up on my algorithm too, which is weird. Which, if you want an interesting couple of, minutes of your life, definitely go check that out.
Yeah, I loved Murray in this storyline. I guess think we could have resolved this a little faster. I think that was my complaint with it. I feel like we did get some good character stuff with Hopper, like talking about like how he feels like responsible for like the mistakes in his life. I do think we took a little too long, like with him sitting still for like the storyline, really like keeping him away from the kids that was going on in Hawkins.
Yeah, my only thing is I wonder if they're just going to bring Russia a little bit more in this. Like, it feels like Russia knows a little bit more about the Upside Down in some way. You know what I mean? It feels like it's like leading up to something. I'm wondering if that's where we're going to get season 5 plot line from.
Yeah.
It's just a theory.
It is a theory. I think the issue I had with it is like, like we had like we already done the Demogorgon thing, and now like, we went from that to the Demodogs in season 2, and with the Mind Flayer last year, Vecna this year, and like we're going back to the Demogorgon. I don't really feel like as that like that is as terrifying.
Unless it's just a callback.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was a very weird callback, although I did appreciate the fact that like Hopper like remembers like, oh, like this thing is terrified of fire, and like manages to like, get in a fight with the guard and steal some alcohol and a lighter to like light a stick on fire.
Yeah, which is interesting. Which we'll talk about later. It's a prediction for later on.
That's a tease.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to the California storyline for a minute, because obviously last we saw them, they were escaping the gunfight at the house, and then the guard they take dies. I did love when Argyle wanted to bury the dude. He's like writes on a pizza box like something like unnamed military guy. He died a hero, and he writes their names on the tombstone.
I love that. He's such a great character. I mean, he's the comic relief, I should say. But like, I don't know. He's just such a wrench in such a good way in the show.
Yeah, he's the guy who literally has this. I feel like he's the audience vehicle. He just walks. He has no idea what the hell's going on. Like it's like if one of your parents just watched Stranger Things the first time, they had no idea what they're getting into.
Yeah.
I also did love, I think, when Jonathan calls him out, it's like, we're writing our names in the box. Like, they're all common names.
Yeah, exactly. That, and like, I feel like that's a part where like Jonathan's kind of like, quote unquote, sobering up to everything that's going on. And he's kind of like taking responsibility more. I feel like that maybe was like a little bit of a call to action for him to like kind of be like, realize, hey, we're back in this. Let me be like, in charge. Like, let's do something.
Yeah. And at that point, I think Mike's whole thing is that the guard gives them the contact info to try and find the Nina project where 11 is, so they can warn them that the military is coming after them. Then I think this is great. I did not expect this at all. It's like, we get a road trip to Susie's house to dial in with the computer and find what's going on here. And Susie's house was the comedy subplot of episode 6. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, it was. And I feel like it was a lot of different like little tributes to different, again, like it's like a huge 80s tribute to everything, going on. Like the Sister Eden was basically Ali Sheedy.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that looks just like Ali Sheedy.
Yeah, I love that all these kids were like having complete utter chaos. You had the kids like filming the movie and pretending that like they're murdering somebody. You had the kid who's dressed like Pigpen, and he's like basically just flipping the circuit breaker every 5 minutes. And
the kids who are like super serious chefs.
Yeah, the chefs who are cooking in the kitchen, and then we get the Susie situation where she finds out that basically she lost her computer because she hacked the Hawkins school district system and changed Dustin's Latin grade in the premiere.
That was a good one. Just the way that they shot that like flashback was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And for the sports fans out there, Susie's dad reminded you a lot of Andy Reid.
Yeah, no, I remember you texted me that, and I was like, oh, 100%.
Yeah, because he's got the walrus mustache, he got the right build, and he's using the computer, and he stole the computer from her, and he's using it for work. And then they basically call this long con to get in there and put the coordinates in to find it out. I did love that Mike was basically an idiot again, and she asked the Susie, she goes through all the hacking to find it, and he's like, can you print that? She's like, no, my skills end at geolocation.
That was such a great line.
Yeah. What do you think of their lie they made up? They were trying to find a secret video game system for Dustin. That's why that they needed her help hacking in there.
Yeah, I mean, Susie is smart. So I thought it was kind of like lame to the character, but also she's kind of like blinded by love as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that they could have said anything and she would believe them.
Yeah, I feel like it's an easier sell also than trying to tell. I don't know how much Dustin's told her about all the shenanigans in Hawkins with the upside down.
Yeah, definitely not. Unless, Susie comes in like riding on one of those, whatever they're called from season 2, the dog ones.
Yeah.
She tames them. That's a joke. That's not actually one of my hot takes, but
Your hot take's not Susie coming in riding a demodog?
no. But if that happens, I don't even know. I think I just start guessing less, I guess, because that's ridiculous.
I'll say if the demodog, Susie shows up riding a demodog, that will be on the year-end clip show for like Ray's predictions of the year.
Perfect. You know what? That's what we can leave it with. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we leave them there. We go a lot of the storyline of Hawkins I was enjoying too, is then we see more of the hunt from the basketball team to try and find Eddie. This is where Patrick the basketball player, dies. And despite the fact that the captain Jason sees that Eddie didn't kill him, he's now convinced that Eddie made a deal with the devil, and like he basically goes to a town hall meeting and gets the whole town basically going on a witch hunt for Eddie, which is pretty crazy. It shows you like how he gave the inspiring speech in episode 1 when he's not doing the prep rally. Here he's using it for evil, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think he's turning into like the 80s villain. You know what I mean? Like the good-looking jock guy who whatever. But that's a very good parallel to like the first episode to the other one. It's just like he's very charismatic.
Yeah, he's very charming. He's that skill for not so good means here. And I did think it was fun seeing the kid group sort of split up here, where the older teenagers all end up going into the upside down to try and figure out what's going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I did get more information on Vecna, and I did think it was fun. We got a lot of information on the upside down from that trip.
We did, and it's interesting that it's stuck in 1983.
Yeah, this is something I think Nancy wants to go to her house in the upside down to get guns. And how shocking that Nancy said she has 2 guns.
Well, we do see them.
Yeah.
Like, especially because Steve's like, oh, you almost shot me with that one.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hilarious. Nancy is a very strong character, but she's riddled again with guilt, as we saw. But were you surprised? Then, like, I'll see you on the other side. You pull up and then she falls and she's in Vecna's trap. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was a terrifying point, because you see she's falling down and you realize where she is, and they show you the corpse of Barb in the pool, and like
Barb. I just wanted her to be alive secretly somehow.
Yeah. You're a big team justice for Barb.
Yeah, justice for Barb. Heck yeah. I feel like I've said that before too. But yeah, no, that was big. And like I said, like Vecna targets people with guilt. Like when we talked about the basketball player who died, Lucas is like, I saw him, he had a black eye one time and he said he fell, but I didn't believe him. Yeah. Like that whole interaction with him and Max, he's like, I see you. Like, he's there. And I'm afraid with that interaction that might get someone in trouble with him and Max. So
yeah, I also think you brought up a good point about the upside down being frozen in time, and Nancy notes that this is the day that Will like gets pulled in the upside down the first time. So that's when the upside down time stops. I think it's something I've read in interviews that Duff Rose says going to be addressed next season, but they did leave the breadcrumb there. Like that's something to be watching for in the future.
Gotcha. I feel like it has to do, like I said, I feel like maybe because it was when Will was first taken, it's the first time somebody else has been brought into the upside down before Vecna. And it kind of, maybe it was Will who messed everything up.
Yeah. And I do have the crystals on. I'm upset I do no longer have a LiteBrite, so we can't communicate through LiteBrite like they were doing to the upside down.
Yeah, that was great. I loved that. That whole scene is like STU, stupid. Oh, stuck. Like that whole thing was hilarious because they're kids. It's funny because like you forget that the show's about a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I did think it was a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be the big meme thing now is everybody's using like LiteBrites, and I felt bad for poor Holly who was playing with her LiteBrite as it gets stolen to communicate.
Yeah, that poor Holly. Maybe she'll be there in the up and up.
Yeah, were you a big LiteBrite kid?
No, nobody would buy me a LiteBrite. They said it was a waste of money.
I actually did have a LiteBrite as a kid, so this really hit me in the feels.
Yeah, well, you said you had one?
I did.
Jealous. I remember going over like my friends' houses who had them, and that's what I wanted to play with because I was not allowed to have one.
Yeah, because I remember you would stick the little pictures on the frame that had the dots that you're supposed to put the pegs through to make the pictures. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then I also go back and like I know this is a different movie, this is a movie and it's not Stranger Things, but I always think of Elf with the light brights when he's like putting it in and he's like sweating with all the lights near him. I just think that's so funny. That's what I think about when I think about light brights.
Yeah, the LiteBrite was a great plot point. I think it was fun to use that for them to communicate. And then we do get a lot in this plot line as well of the Steve and Nancy thing, which they are hinting very strongly at a reunion here. I don't know if this is a sort of red herring to sort of keep away from like whenever Jonathan shows back up in this plot line, but I do start to worry about Steve's longevity in the show.
See, I heard that Steve's a pretty safe character. I feel like he's more of the rest of the gang, like the kid gang.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a prediction for when we get to it, but there's so many cute little, stolen glances and little like commentary, like when they're in the boat.
Yeah.
When like Robin smiles, because it's like things like that is like it's super cute.
Yeah.
We didn't get I don't know if they just rewrote him to be more likable, if they had this plan for him all along, but like they didn't have, I don't know. I just love Steve and Nancy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and it's something too Eddie points out too, is that when they're bike riding the upside down, that he talks to Steve and says, hey, like she dove in the water right after you got pulled down without any hesitation. Like if that's not love, I don't know what is. So they're heading very heavily out, which means I think it's either a red herring. I don't think you're actually getting the reunion. That's my hunch.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this show is due for us to have some heartbreak.
I think it is due for some heartbreak here, and I do think it's a good time here. Let's give out the MVP as a whole for Volume 1. Who would you say is your MVP for the whole 7 episodes?
It's got to be Steve. I know I went in with Max for my last one, but overall, as a whole, I believe that it's Steve. He had played a huge role. He's really like trying to learn, which kind of scares me. He has had a very good character arc, which goes back to your thing with like maybe it's a red herring, like whatever. But I think Steve's been the MVP. He's been very consistent, very helpful, hilarious, and he's trying.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Dustin. I feel like Dustin had a very strong Volume 1 because he seems to quickly grasp what's going on with Vecna. He does a good job explaining to people like Eddie who have no idea what the hell he's getting into, and figures out how to communicate with the upside down people with the LiteBrite. I feel like he had a very good volume.
He did, and also he's basically the glue that holds a lot of these friendships together, which is very interesting.
Yeah, he's sort of the bridge from like Steve and Robin to like the Nancy Jonathan group. Like, he connects a lot of the tissue there.
Exactly.
It's gonna who is the worst character of Volume 1?
Well, it's pretty obvious, and it's mostly gonna be, in the trio of the Hopper, Joyce, and Murray. Now, yes, did they all have their moments of good in this past 7 episodes? Yes, but they haven't really been giving us anything this entire season. It's the whole Hopper plot line that's been kind of at a loss for me.
Yeah, I mean that one. I'll say that one, and I think I'm gonna say here. I don't think we got a ton out of Jonathan either.
No, definitely not. Also, like Jonathan, I feel like has been the character that's been least on the screen, and also he's just not the character who we saw back in like season 1 and 2.
No, it's in a lot of this first patch sort of mopey. He's away from Nancy and like talking about how he can't get the same college as her, and like it's really his only sort of like one note storyline through the whole thing.
That, and I saw a bunch of the times on a Reddit page that he just never actually does anything as well. If you go back and think about it, it's always somebody else saving his butt.
Yeah, he's getting high at Argyle. That's the only thing he's really doing.
That's it. That's why I'm saying like with the pizza box, I think that's when he woke up from his like little,
Pity party
trip, I guess, and woke up and realized that it's time to take some action.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention for the Susie's house storyline how Argyle falls in love with Susie's older sister, and then they end up in the back of his van.
Yeah. So it was cute. That was a cute little thing.
Yeah, I did think that was a lot of fun, and we have some looking ahead. We got some time for Volume 2 drops in a couple of months here. So, any big predictions for the last 2 episodes?
Would you like to hear my big prediction that could be a spoiler?
Sure.
Okay, well, it's not really a spoiler. It's based all in theory. But remember when we were talking about, I know this is going back to a different episode, we were talking about Obi-Wan with the posters.
Yes.
I feel like the posters may have something to do with this season. Most of the characters are looking at you, and there are 4 characters who are not. So most of the time they're making eye contact with the viewer looking at the poster. There's 4 characters who are looking away to the side. And those characters are Max, Mike, Jonathan, and Joyce. So I'm thinking that they're the ones that are gone, which I hope they don't get Winona Ryder out. She's, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of Joyce, I love Winona.
That's an interesting point on that one. I do think that's an interesting call. I do think I'm worried about Steve. I don't know if Steve's going to make it out of the season.
Yes, I know. And then with Max, I feel like Max is going to like kind of sacrifice herself to save Lucas. I feel like Jonathan's going to sacrifice herself to save Jonathan's going to sacrifice to save Nancy, sorry, and Joyce is going to sacrifice herself to save Harper. I feel like something like along those lines will happen.
So we're both in agree somebody's going to die from this main cast.
I feel like more than one person's going to die. That's like my end all prediction is it's definitely, oh, and we're going to get a sweet air guitar solo from Eddie.
Yeah.
That we saw in the previews for the show.
Yeah,
so he's going to have a nice riff in the Upside Down.
It's one of the few things in the trailer we haven't seen yet.
Yes, that, and then going back to remember Harper, what's his face? Hopper. So, I can't speak anymore. I'm sorry, it's late. Has the spear that's on fire.
Yeah.
We see Dustin holding one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that Hopper has to teach him that because I don't think they know that.
It's something to watch for sure. I just think with Steve specifically, I feel like there's like so many like instances in this season right where he's been like in peril and in trouble. Like he's died like deaths a couple of times. First he gets pulled under, he's getting attacked by the bats, and now he's with the Upside Down situation. I feel like his number I think could be up. I also feel like we're gonna have, I think, at least like you said, probably a couple of big deaths just to like sort of like set the tone that nobody's safe for the last season.
Exactly. I just, even more the fact, like I'm very excited for these next 2 episodes, but I mean, we have to wait until they come out, of course, preface, but season 5, I can't even wrap my head around what the heck they're going to do, which of course, again, I know what you're going to say, Mike. You have to watch the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll tee something up in there. It's a teasing for 5. Like last year, they had the post credits with Hopper and the Demogorgon and Rush. That we learned about that.
That is true.
Yeah, and I do think the run times we had now for the last 2 parts here, Chapter 8, 85 minutes, so just short of a movie. Chapter 9, 2 hours, 19 minutes, longer than Doctor Strange or Top Gun Maverick.
I'm here for it. Let's go. If they did it right, like they did episode 7, it's gonna fly by, and we're gonna just be upset after it.
Yeah, this is basically the untold summer blockbuster, Stranger Things chapter 9.
Yeah. I am very excited for these next couple weeks to fly by.
Yeah, and it comes out July 1st, so right before 4th of July weekend. They seem to like these holiday weekend releases here, so.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Most people are off, for the most part, and they want you to drive up those, views.
Yeah, and luckily for me, it's only 2 parts this time, so I think we can do both in one shot next time.
Yeah, we're going to be very emotional, I have a feeling.
Yeah. So let's think if you're coming back in early July, we're going to do the wrap up of season 4.
There's going to be some tears. Hopefully not too many tears, but I feel like there's going to be some tears.
There'll also be some laughs as well, I'm sure.
I really hope there's some laughs. I hope it's not that depressive scariness that it's been for a lot of it.
Yeah, I hope you're right. We'll see. Sam, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Before I let you go, I'll be on social media. Keep up with what you're up to.
Twitter, you can find me at SDEROS5, or you can follow me on TikTok at Salmon Sports. That's a fun one.
That is a fun one. What else have you been keeping up with on the streaming front lately?
I mean, I'm playing catch up to a million things. God, I mean, I started the Lakers documentary one.
Winning Time?
Yes, Winning Time. I just started that. I started The Boys. I heard that was a good one to know. Obi-Wan, of course. I'll start the whatchamacallit, Miss Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel's coming out
tomorrow. Yeah, geez, it's already June 8th tomorrow. I'm trying to just latch on to as much as I can.
Yeah, a lot of fun. What do you thought of Winning Time so far?
Winning Time, only one episode in. I don't have that many thoughts, but so far I like it. I know that's not a good answer and there's no description, but I am just one episode in and I'm trying to wrap my mind around everything. But so far I'm really enjoying the acting.
I'd say it's a lot of fun. That's the way I describe that show.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I think it's funny at least. So
Yeah, because there were times I remember watching that show. I watched the entire season. Like I was just bursting out laughing at points during the show. It was so great.
yeah, no, this is going to be a nice pick me up after Stranger Things.
Yeah, another fun one I'll put on the calendar. People are interested here. Two things to keep an eye on here is number one, the ESPN announced that they're starting to drop the Derek Jeter documentary series. I think starting July 18th. It's 7 episodes. So we'll be definitely keeping an eye on the podcast here. So
so excited for that. My back of my head might be in one shot, but probably not. But I'm hoping for it.
Oh, you were there when you've been around when they were filming.
They filmed one little, I think, scene by my office, and I was like, whoop, and I kind of moved out of the way. It's definitely not in there, but here's to dreaming.
Yeah, and the other one I'll point out here is I remember a baseball movie director a while back. Apparently, they may have a show for Amazon Prime based on A League of Their Own that's coming out on August 12th.
All right, that's definitely something I'm going to put on my calendar.
Yeah, so a little August release. Put that out there for you people. Keep an eye on some stuff. Sam, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.